Hi Earthlings. So I've got an update and it's about the Year of the Dragon again. So let's just start quickly with the dragon. I've been doing some studying. So interestingly, I seem to find on the internet that Chinese dragon had the head of a camel, the eyes of a hare, the horns of a stag, the scales of the fish, the paws of a tiger, and the claws of an eagle. I can't find what his tail looked like though. Anyway, dragon is a dynamic, arousing force that bodes well for creative movement. Positive actions taken with good timing and zero arrogance, because arrogance is a toxic strength. And of course, at the end, if you are arrogant, it will cause a sickness in you. You will become ill. Now, I've worked out the whole thing for the Year of the Dragon so far. So we're going to follow the 6 stages of development. That's 12 months divided by 6. So that's 2 months per stage. So first stage, we are sensitive to the conditions and doing things in the right order. One develops more influence by being sensitive to conditions and doing things in the right order. We develop more influence. Time, which is the 4th dimension. So our shadow is in the 2nd dimension. It is a flat plane, our shadow. Our body is in the 3rd dimension along with the physical reality. Time is the 4th dimension and the spirit realm is the 5th dimension. So we do go to the 5th realm when we dream. The 5th dimension when we dream, the spiritual realm. And of course we're there forever when our physical body dies. So no rush. You still get to visit it in your dreams. Now, anyway, the 4th dimension, time itself, becomes the means to make real what has only been potential before this moment. Persevere in doing each and everything in the right order, and you will flourish when your creative power works through you. Success means making the right moves at the right time. Be confident in your ability to be successful. Absorb wise advice and align yourself with it. So remembering that the Chinese New Year begins on the 10th of February. So this is our conscious intention that we're putting in. Now, a cool thing about it is, so I've been watching a lot of different things on the YouTube that I like to do. I'm a very creative person. And the latest cute little things is I've been following all these different recipes. Well, I've been following designs because it was just Christmas, so everybody was just bowling out heaps and heaps of creative ideas, and I had the time today to try. So this is my try. So I've made these icing designs. And I liked it, and I loved making the icing as well because it's like a marshmallow that picked up a good light. Does this? Yes, nice. Okay, so cool. That's something creative that I did today. Now the reason that I'm speaking about this with the first stage is because I watched a lot of videos first. I listened to people talking, just discussing their creative ways that they did things, this, that, everything that they did, and I took a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of this, a bit of that, or all of this. You know, if somebody was great, I subscribed to their channel. I'm like, geez, I'm going to learn some more from them, and some I just took photos of, and all sorts of different things, and it all just, I just let it all absorb into my mind, and I just let it just filter through till I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to do it. And today was the day I was like, yep, today's the day, I'm going to do it. it's not actually like that. What it is like, I'm quite a spontaneous person, so I just bowled out and did it. So I didn't have some of the tools that the professionals use, so I had to be inventive and things like this, and I just waited for all those things to come into my mind, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, and thus I was able to perform the task. Okay, so that's the first 2 months. So we've got February, 10th February, so to March to April. So in the April, there's going to be another change, which is called stage 2. So stage 2, your influence is growing and all things begin small. But now we make a wider perspective and our best strategy becomes clear. It's not time to make great changes yet. Keep developing your creative powers. So that's April to May to June. So that's the first sort of like 6 months of next year. Remembering that the Year of the Dragon will go through to 2025, just tapping in there, but still it's a 12-month. Now, stage 3, a clear choice comes to us. We can either expand or go dormant. The choice is ours. Engage or withdraw. Consider the long-term consequences of any action you choose to take, paying careful attention to all possible outcomes. So June, so July, August. So approximately around the July-August period is a time to make a choice. So that's interesting. And then stage 4, respect deepens. You may feel lonely, but influential people recognize your talent. Take advice only from those you respect. When leaders unite as peers, their power is multiplied. Those who belong together come together. Take into consideration those under your influence. So remembering, of course, we're in this Aries Libra eclipse cycle. Eclipse cycles, so that's what I talk about all the time. And Aries is fire, so that's our soul. It's also the I am. And then Libra is air, so that's our spirit. So we're talking about 2 metaphysical aspects of leadership that we are going through in this cycle of fate and destiny. So destiny is the Aries I am, and fate is the Libra, the liberation, if I can remember that word, and it's something to do with the way that things are magnetized and drawn, because I learned that following the phenomenon of Prometheus and Pandora, 2 asteroids that we have in our heavens, and they are always in this beautiful binary system, a system of time it was called. So I spoke about that in a previous video, and hopefully you can find that, and it's very important because I found out that when this eclipse when the Chinese New Year does occur on the 10th of February, at the lunar node of fate, 18 degrees, at the lunar node of destiny, 18 degrees, we have, of Aries, we have Pandora. So Pandora is making a play. She is coming into power. This is at, node of destiny. And we're following destiny, and we're following Pandora. I'm trying my hardest to learn all about her. She is the first earthling woman, not female. Not the first earthling female. The first earthling female was spliced from Adam, male, into female, and started the bloodline of the psychopaths, remembering her sons were killers. Abel slaughtered the sheep, Cain murdered Abel, and Seth murdered Osiris. Now, but in the node of fate, at this point of the 10th of February, we have at the 18th degree in the house of Libra, Lord Shiva. And Shiva is my lord, and I can't be more stoked right now to find that out. So I'm so happy. Hopefully I will find out more about Pandora, but she is so ancient, it's really hard, because we're talking pre-flood, and so we may have had records, but obviously we've lost a lot of records through time, mostly by fire and destruction and war. There's quite a stellium in the house of Aquarius. The sun is at 21 degrees, the moon is at 21 degrees, it's a new moon. Time of no moon seen, 3 days and nights, the sun and moon together, soul and psyche. So where it's a very good time for us to listen to our psyche and our intuition and receive that inner wisdom. We have in the house of Aquarius, we have Mercury at 8 degrees. Pluto is at the 0 point. Everyone says Circe is at 18 degrees, but I like to call her Quirky. And that's how I think her name is actually said. And she was like this witch, and not a good one, but anyway, she's there at the 18th degree. We have Hermes at the 7th degree. So Mercury is not Hermes and Hermes is not Mercury, but they're both messengers. One's a traveler messenger and one's a trickster messenger. Now also is Orpheus, Icarus and Aphrodite. Orpheus is at the 21st degree, conjunct with the sun and moon. The story of Orpheus is a beautiful story. He loved Eurydice, and he tried to bring her back from the dead. She got bit by a snake, and he was a profoundly, the most beautiful, talented singer, and he loved her so much, and he went to the realm of Hades and Persephone and begged for her back. They said that she could come back, but he was to walk out and she was to follow him of her own free will, and he had to wait for her to step right out of Hades' realm before he could look upon her. So he had to trust that she was following him. Anyway, he played his music and he played it all the way out, and Eurydice followed him, and she followed him all the way, and she got to the threshold. He was ahead of her, and he looked back, and as he looked back, she was just about to step over the threshold, and she hadn't quite stepped over the threshold. He looked back too soon, and so she was drawn back into the underworld, and back she went, her spirit. Now, so it's a very sad story, because then Orpheus, he was never happy again. His sad and mournful songs, and apparently it says all these wild women tore him to pieces. So they wouldn't have been women, they would have been females. But okay, so that is in the house of Aquarius. It may play a part. Remember, I have explained to you many times that everything about this 18-year cycle is about death. So we all have to understand this part of this journey. Icarus, of course, he flew too close to the sun, and when he was up too high, the wax on his wings melted. And Aphrodite, she is not Venus, she is her own star, Aphrodite. And I have to do more. I have done a lot of work on her before, but it's been so long. And I think that, of course, she is very beautiful looking and things like this, but of course she is not the mother of our inner star child. She is just a personification of a beauty. So yes, Pandora and Shiva will be conjunct. So Shiva will be at the node of fate, which is in the house of Libra, and Pandora will be at the house of destiny, which is in the Aries, house of Aries. Also, I've been trying my hardest to learn about dams. So a dam is an artificial lake, a river, in a river that changes the movement of the waters. So it's about the shift. So dams and leaves make vast areas habitable and safe by controlling water. So think of water also as our emotional flow. Dams and leaves are earthworks built of dirt, rocks, and sticks. I think it's kind of interesting that the word dam can be like damned, and the word leaves is like leave. Okay, so there's that. But anyway, dams are barriers that impound water for the purpose of storage or control, becoming a resource that stops us feeling drained. Feel the abundance of ease and peace and compassion and the depth and stillness, I have written. A leave is a natural or man-made earthen barrier along the edge of a river, stream or lake that prevents the flow of water leaving its channel. So in this 18 months we are becoming. So another thing is, who are we becoming? What are we becoming? Doing, having, being, creating. So these are the questions that we ask our ego. Who are we becoming? What are we becoming? What are we doing? What are we having? What are we being? What are we creating? So the greater version of ourself is becoming, and we are going to tap into it. So the part of the embodiment that is inside the dam is actually called the reservoir. So the body of water is the reservoir that is contained by the dam. Now, another cool thing I found was in 1992, they began building the Odelite Dam in Portugal, spell Odeleite. It was completed in 1998, and the reservoir looks like the Blue Dragon, which has astonished everyone. So that is my update, and Happy New Year, everyone. 2024 for those, it's the new calendar year. It is not the new astrological year. I believe that it starts at the Chinese New Year. A lot of astrologers say that it starts at Aries. When I look at astrology, I think that it starts after Scorpio, Libra death, the transformation Scorpio, and then the new beginning Sagittarius. So I'm way different to what everybody else says. So anyway, yes, peace be with us all, and we're going to have a creative year. We're going to, whenever we're feeling a little bit, okay, I'll just share something. So I had really long hair and I've cut it. Thank God I have not cut it right up to my scalp, because I suffer a lot of grief, and sometimes when I suffer grief, I just start cutting my hair. Please, I don't know why I do it, but I do, and I'm really sad that I did, because it took a few years for my hair to grow, and now look at it. But anyway, remembering that the moods, we're trying to step up our mood and out of this mood that they've laid across the earth of the depression, depletion, the fear, everything has to be so scary and sad and hard, and the old dog eat dog lie that they tell us, or life's not fair, these kind of things that they tell us, which are untrue, but they try to make it a reality. Anyway, so yeah, it wasn't like that I was in a mood. It's just that, I beg your pardon, let me just say it, it's always there. It never goes away. The grief, it never goes away. It's just that I've learned all these different techniques on how to come back to reality. So Lord Shiva took me out of reality and showed me that I was inside his meditation. So when I came back to reality, what brought me back was my sword, and I think it's in another one of my videos. Hang on a minute. So I was working at a place, and they were chucking this in the rubbish, and I was like, what's happening with that? And they were like, oh, it's going to the middleman's going to come and take it away. And I was like, oh, well, I'd like it. And the sword brought me back to reality, because you can't wield the sword if you're not here in physical reality. You're going to dong yourself on the head with it. You could get hurt. Anyway, I'm working on it, so I'm doing things to it, and I've done this balancing thing here, and I've changed the end of it here, and it's another piece of art that I'm working with at this time. Well, not at this. Oh, I just realised that it's got a dragon. Can you see dragon on here? Maybe not. Maybe this way. Does that show him? There's my dragon. Okay, so that's something else I just realised just now. I have a dragon. So I said before that in the old Chinese it says head of a camel, eyes of a hare, horns of a stag, scales of the fish, paws of the tiger, claws of the eagle. And they have two very long whiskers like the carp, and they say scales of the fish, which is like the carp, and there's a story about the carp, and I think the carp, well, I always thought it was like a goldfish, but maybe I got a koi and a carp mixed up there, so I have to have a look at this a little bit deeper, which I will do. Okay, ka kite, love you all, and many blessings to everyone.